All right, look, just waiting a couple of minutes for people to start coming into the room. Welcome everyone to today's session, Thursday, which is the GSA's day dedicated to providing and supporting engaged and healthy communities. My name is David Lasuma and I'm the GM for Student Engagement at GSA. And we are really, really grateful to have a guest in from the sustainability team at the University of Melbourne. But before I get into that, I'd like to acknowledge the land of the Yakult Walanklang of the Boomerang, where I'm actually currently hosting from today. That's in St Kilda. I pay my respects to the elders past and present, and recognise the strength, resilience and capacity of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in this land. So as I mentioned before, Thursdays for us at GSA is absolutely dedicated to creating that sense of support around engaged and healthy communities. And our Tuesday sessions are dedicated to supporting students to the transition to work, and Wednesdays are supporting our students in creating some academic excellence services and support for them. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Raveena Grace from our sustainability team at the University of Melbourne. And I'm sure Raveena will introduce herself as the Sustainability Engagement Officer, but just a little snippet in there that Raveena actually has a long-standing relationship with GSA, as she was the VP for the Postgraduate Environment Network grad group. I thought it was a mouthful. So very happy to have Raveena here, as she's stayed strong to her cause and her goals through her studies, and her community engagement work has led her into working at the university. So even as at GSA, we're really proud to see our students move through the ranks of their career goals and essentially being somewhere that they're thriving. So without further ado, Raveena, welcome to the session, and we're really looking forward to having you here to talk us through some of these effective strategies to being sustainable. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Tavita, for having me, and thank you so much, Andrew, as well. I'm really excited to be here and presenting today. As Tavita mentioned, I'm Raveena, so I actually was a past student and I studied the Master of Environment at the University of Melbourne, and I worked with GSA in a program called Green Impact, which I'll talk to you a bit later on in the presentation. And I've also been the Vice President of the Postgraduate Environment Network, so that's been an amazing experience. And because of those experiences, I've been lucky enough to actually be able to work with the sustainability team. So I've now graduated from my master's and I'm a staff member. And it's just it's a great case study for students getting involved with activities at the university, and how you can just, reach your career goals and transition throughout the university. So thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today, and I'm going to talk to you about effective strategies to be sustainable, and also tell you about how sustainability is not just environmentally focused, but also it's holistic. So we look at health and well-being as well. Before I get started though, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land I'm on today. So I'm on the Wurundjeri people, as well as the traditional owners of the land that you're situated on. And I also acknowledge that Indigenous Australians have been the custodians of the lands and waterways of Australia for thousands of years. And I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. So the first thing that we're going to do is just a little bit of an exercise. And I realize that it's a webinar, so you can't actually post in the chat, but I wonder if you can post in the Q&A, or even if you just write it down. But I just want to know what comes to mind when you hear the word sustainability. For me, some of the things that come to mind is being green, being eco-friendly, being focused on future generations, and not just looking after this generation, but also looking after our world for future generations. Some other things that come to mind are equality, social justice, and also financial well-being. So I'll just give you maybe a minute or two just to either post in the Q&A or write it down.
Already getting a couple in now, so thank you to Emily there for that comment.
Reducing plastic usage, that's great. That's something we will talk about later on in the presentation. Using our natural resources wisely and reducing waste, absolutely. And we don't have infinite resources, we have very finite resources. So that's a really great point to bring up, Natasha. Understanding and respecting our relationship with land, resources, and each other, absolutely, Victoria, that's amazing. And it's really good to know that sustainability isn't just environmentally focused, it's also about connecting with each other. Sustainability in terms of whether the strategy is suitable for the long term, absolutely. Ways to reuse, recycle, and give new life to objects and things. You guys are great. You already know what I'm going to be talking about in the presentation. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for contributing. I have loved looking at those answers, and you've all hit the nail on the head. They are exactly what sustainability is. So I'll just go on to the next slide. Thanks, Andrew. Perfect. So what is sustainability? Sustainability is environmentally focused, socially focused, and also we look at financial viability as well. So obviously within the environment, we look at things like energy, waste, biodiversity, transport. When we talk about social sustainability, we look at health and well-being. How can we maintain active and committed communities? How can we keep them connected? And when we talk about financial well-being or financial sustainability, we want to make sure that we have equality, basically. We want to try and eradicate poverty, and we want to try and it's going back to resources, I guess. We want to make sure that our resources aren't finite, and that includes monetary values as well. So I'm just going to give you a really quick overview of what sustainability is like at the University of Melbourne. So at the University of Melbourne, we actually do have a sustainability framework. So back in 2015, we created a sustainability charter, and that was basically a set of principles and values for each specific activity area. So that could be engagement, teaching and learning, waste, and so that just outlined the set of principles basically. But in 2017, we actually created a world-leading sustainability plan. And the university really wanted to show that we were committed to sustainability. And how this plan actually came about was driven by students. So it's really great to see that an amazing piece of work, world-leading, was driven by our very own students. So students wanted to challenge the institution, and they basically wanted to divest from fossil fuels. So because of that movement and that commitment that they had, we created a sustainability plan, and there's a lot of targets and priority actions required for us to try and meet by the end of 2020. And we also report on our sustainability targets and our sustainability progress every year. So we do make sure that the university community knows how we are tracking against those targets. So what does the plan look like? There's 41 targets holistically. And when I say holistically, that means across all of these different key pillars within the university. So we look at research, teaching and learning, engagement, operations, investments, and governance. So we really try and embed sustainability throughout everything that we do at the university. So our team, the sustainability team, we sit within the operations space, and we basically look at 6 key areas, and that's water, waste, biodiversity, energy, engagement, and transport. So we have a couple of different key targets within that, within those areas in the sustainability plan, and I've listed some there on the slide. So with water, we want to try and reduce main water usage by floor area by 12%. With waste, we want to reduce waste to landfill to 20 kilograms per person by 2020. We're currently sitting, or before COVID happened, we were currently sitting at 27 kilograms per person. So we had a big target this year. I think we're going to meet it, but probably not due to normal circumstances. With biodiversity, we want to establish biodiversity baseline data for all of our campuses. So I don't know if you know, but in the system gardens and community gardens, we actually have a lot of biodiversity. So we have bees, and we have possums, and we have different types of plants and a lot of native plants as well. With energy, we want to try and achieve carbon neutrality by 2020 and aim to be zero net emissions from electricity by 2021. So we're actually on track to meet that energy target. We're going to be zero net emissions from electricity by the end of this year. In engagement, we have 4 targets around awareness, participation, action, and perception. And with transport, we want to offset our air travel emissions by 100%, sorry, by 2020, and reduce air travel per staff for 5 to 10%. So we are working towards carbon offsetting with that, and we're also looking at other ways that we can explore with transport. So things like cycling initiatives and promoting Ride to Work Day. Obviously, transport probably isn't on the forefront at the moment, but that is something that we're looking to investigate further. And we're also in the process of developing a new sustainability plan. So that'll be from 2021 to 2025. And I'll put a link in the chat. So if you did want to contribute to that sustainability plan and have your say in what actually goes in it, please do fill out a form or join one of our consultation sessions. And I'll put that at the end of this presentation for you. So how can you get involved with sustainability at the University of Melbourne? So the best thing that you could probably do is sign up to our student volunteering mailing list, and I'll put that link in the chat there. So we actually have a student volunteering program, and we do have a lot of online volunteering opportunities as well as on-campus volunteering opportunities. So if you're interested in what goes on at the university with sustainability and you want to get involved, do sign up to our mailing list. You can follow our top tips to being sustainable at home, and I'm going to go through some of them shortly. We do have Facebook and Instagram, so you can follow us and like us, and we just post some fun, feel-good news stories about what's going on around the university community. And there's actually been so much happening at home, so it's really great to see people are still interested in sustainability. You can email us if you have any questions at all, or visit our website. And we also have a sustainability video, and you can influence your communities to be more sustainable, basically. That QR code is actually a link to our sustainability newsletter as well. You can also gain knowledge about sustainability at the University of Melbourne through our very own virtual tour. So we've launched a virtual sustainability tour, and so far we've got 10 hotspots around the campus of videos of people talking about why these places are sustainable at the university. And we constantly add more videos as well. So if you did want to get some more knowledge and inspiration about what we're doing at the university, please do follow that QR code, and you'll be able to have a look and explore the campus virtually. So another great way to get involved is through Green Impact, and I actually run the Green Impact program at the university. So it's really lovely to be able to run it now, when I actually started as a student volunteer for the program myself. So Green Impact is basically a behaviour change and engagement program where staff and students, we foster staff and student collaboration, and they form teams basically within their departments or wherever they're working, and they implement green-based actions. So these actions could be putting pot plants in their office, or making sure that they've got the correct recycling bins, or maybe even adopting an animal, like an endangered animal. There's a whole range of actions that are, fun, flexible, and meant to be inspiring. And basically, Green Impact provides a framework that helps people to be sustainable and shows them that every little action that you do counts. So that's a really important takeaway from this presentation, that everything you do makes a big difference. And it may not feel like it, but trust me, it does.
Sorry, Raveena, I wasn't sure if you were finished there, but I wanted to acknowledge the photo. So I don't know if anyone in the room can actually put in chat if they recognise where that photo was taken. Yes, it was taken before COVID-19 social distancing restrictions were in place. But it's quite nostalgic to see that photo. Actually, I'm not in it. I'm just saying that, but I know exactly where that's taken. It's such a good photo.
It's a beautiful photo, and we were so lucky to have our award ceremony hosted by one of our Green Impact teams. I'm not going to give away where the location is until you post in the chat, but it's really nice to see that collaboration. We're breaking down those silos, and we're not only collaborating through sustainability, but also through events. And we were very fortunate to have an amazing award ceremony in this beautiful location.
There is a hint that it could be my virtual background. Okay, sorry, carry on, Raveena.
No worries. So with our student opportunities involved with Green Impact, you can actually help a staff-based team implement those actions. And this program can be done from home as well. So if you're interested in getting involved with Green Impact, please do email us and I will point you to the right steps. So I want to make it really clear that you are the reason that we are all here, basically. You, as students, are our leaders for sustainability. You can really make a difference and you can champion sustainability. As I said before, the sustainability plan probably wouldn't have come into place if it weren't for our students. So our aim is to foster staff and student collaboration, provide a campus that allows for excellence in campus experience, and empower students to influence change. So you have a really, really important role. We really want to make sure that we listen to our community, and our team is always willing to partner with you, to collaborate with you and learn from you as well. We don't have all the answers. So if you have any ideas and if you want to get involved with sustainability, we'd love to hear what you have to say, and we really want to, I guess, be there for you and allow you to thrive and allow you to champion sustainability. And keep in mind, sustainability is not just environmental. So it could be health and wellbeing initiatives, it could be financial sustainability. We want to know what you want to implement at the university. So I'm going to get into some top tips now about how you can be sustainable from home or on campus, but mainly from home for this point. So the first points that I'm going to raise are around environmental sustainability, reducing and reusing. So wearing a reusable mask. So reusable masks are a great way to reduce your contribution to single-use plastic consumption. So I don't know if you know, but every piece of plastic ever made still exists today. So it's really important to try and get on board with wearing a reusable mask, and they're really easy to make as well. We do have a tutorial on how to make reusable masks, and again, I can put that in the chat after this presentation. Bin it right. So I don't know if you guys know, but contaminating recycling bins actually goes to landfill. So if you put an item in the recycling bin that's not actually recyclable, unfortunately, obviously it won't happen with just one item, but if there's quite a few items in that recycling bin, and this is the same for on campus, unfortunately, it all goes to landfill. So it's really important to check your council's guidelines and have a look at what can go into recycling bins, what can go into landfill bins, and what can go into soft plastics and organics. And if you didn't know as well, soft plastics, so they're like any scrunchable plastics, so chip packets and stuff like that, they can be recycled as well. But they won't go in the recycling bin. They have to be taken to your local Coles or Woolies. So reduce single-use plastic by having water bottles rather than plastic bottles, using reusable containers, using a keep cup. As I said before, every piece of plastic ever made still exists today. So it's really important to try and reduce your plastic and waste consumption where possible. Swap, share and repair. So avoid items going to landfill and instead look at your consumption habits. You can repair broken items, you can share and swap items that you don't need with your friends, or it can go to op shop. So rather than just throwing it away into landfill, look at what you can try and give away first, or ask yourself, do you really need that? And can you get it secondhand? Choose a cafe that accepts keep cups. So there's actually no evidence that suggests that it's safer to get your coffee in disposables. So you can actually ask your local cafe to use your keep cup. The most important thing is that disposable coffee cups can't be recycled. So the lids, the cups, they can't be recycled. So they do go straight into landfill. So as long as your keep cup is clean and it's dry, then it should be safe to use. So still following on the reduce and reuse pathway, we want to try and make sure that you reduce your consumption habit, your plastic and waste consumption habits first. You reuse what you can, and recycling is your last option. So eat all your leftovers. Don't let your food turn into a greenhouse gas emission. So when you don't eat your leftovers and you put it in the bin, it actually turns into methane, and that produces greenhouse gases. So if you can, eat all your leftovers, or try a new recipe with leftovers. For example, leftover rice dishes can actually be turned into arancini balls, for example. Find retailers that allow bring your own containers. So bulk food source places allow you to bring your own containers, and you can get nuts and rice and flour. Yeah, so that's a really great way to reduce your plastic consumption. Ask for plastic-free home deliveries. So Australia only recycles 14% of its plastic, and some plastic can actually be recycled a lot more. So that's a shocking statistic. We're quite low on the scale. So if you can ask for like plastic-free home deliveries, so if you're ordering something and you just say to the supplier, please make it as plastic-free as possible, maybe wrap it in newspaper or paper itself, that's a lot better than plastic. Use a reusable grocery bag. So you can make a reusable grocery bag from anything. Like you can do a DIY t-shirt no sew bag just by tying the arms together, and get creative and just say no to plastic bags where possible. And adopt a sanitize, dry and reuse model. So it is safe to reuse as long as you clean items and you dry them. So always think sanitize, dry, reuse. So here are just some more top tips around environmental sustainability. Grow at home. So if you're growing at home, so if you're growing veggies at home or even just plants, you're using less chemicals and you're encouraging biodiversity within your own homes. Sustainable gift giving. This is a really good one. So Christmas season is actually not far. So instead of, giving them materialistic items, I know sometimes you need to, but if you can avoid it, you can give gifts like adopting animals or planting trees for them in their names. You can give food. You can also re-gift ideas. And if you say it's sustainable, I'm sure people will totally get on board with that. I don't know if you know the toilet paper company, Who Gives a Crap, but some of my friends wrap presents in the Who Gives a Crap toilet paper wrapping, just because it's really pretty and colourful, and that's a great way to just save on wrapping paper as well. Eat less meat. So eating meat actually counts for over 50% of greenhouse gas emissions. So we're not saying you have to stop meat completely, but if you can just try and reduce your meat consumption, that actually makes a really big difference. So if everyone did that in the world, we could save a lot of greenhouse gas emissions being produced. So there's a great campaign called Meat Free Monday. And you try and avoid eating meat every Monday. And that just reduces a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. So consider your consumption decisions. Decrease convenience. That's probably the biggest one that we want you to think about. If you can think about your procurement decisions, when you go and buy stuff, if you think about, do you really need it? Can I borrow it? Can I get it secondhand? If I'm going to buy it, how am I going to make it the most environmentally possible, I guess, environmental sustainability possible? So for example, if you go into the supermarket and you're looking at buying apples and you've got two options and you go for loose apples or plastic wrapped apples, it's better to go for the loose apples, even if it's a little bit more expensive. But say that supermarket doesn't even have loose apples and they've just got the plastic wrapped apples. I totally understand sometimes you're in a rush, but if you can truly be sustainable and take that next step and think, well, I'm going to decrease the convenience, I'm going to try and find a supermarket that has loose apples, then that means that we're using our voices and we're using our actions to make a real difference. And also buy local. So, sorry. So it's really important to support our local farmers, but also if you're buying imported food, it's actually producing a lot more greenhouse gas emissions because of the air travel mileage. So if you can buy local, that's probably the best option.
Sorry, Raveena, we just had a comment in from Victoria. She just shared something quite nice that her cousin gave homemade granola for Christmas, and it was her favorite gift. It used a little reusable jar. So thanks for sharing, Victoria.
That's beautiful, Victoria. That's a great idea. And even things like homemade jam, everyone loves jam. Or even if you make them little sweets like truffles or scones, people love that.
And then Emily's just shared something there. I tried to avoid plastic bags, but I'm running out of bags to line my bins. Um, no one likes smelling bin. Do you have any suggestions for how we can line bins in a more sustainable way?
That is a really great question, and that's something that our team is still constantly trying to figure out. But thank you, Emily, for raising that. We actually do use paper. So if you have a compost bin, for example, you can put all your food in the compost bin, and then it just avoids any juices from seeping through the paper. But we use newspaper, so any old newspaper, and often you can find them at like libraries and stuff. A lot of libraries are happy to give away their newspaper for free, and you can line it with newspaper. It's a lot more environmentally friendly, and the newspaper will break down over time, whereas plastic bags won't. If you have to use a plastic bag, which I totally understand in some cases you do, and you have an option between compostable or biodegradable plastic bags and normal plastic bags, the compostable and biodegradable plastic bags are actually greenwashing you. So it's not a great option. And that's because when you use a compostable or biodegradable bag, it breaks down into pieces, but it never really goes away. So instead, those little pieces of plastic go into the waterways, they go into animals' systems. So fish usually eat those little bits of plastic. So it breaks down, but it doesn't go away and it doesn't compost. So if you do have that choice, make sure you use just normal plastic bags, because that'll just stay as a whole and it's less likely to go into our waterways or our oceans. In terms of some other options, you could, I'm just trying to think. The newspaper is probably the only one I can think off the top of my head, but I will ask my team and I can always email you some more suggestions. So I'll get back to you on that one.
Fantastic. Thanks, Raveena.
Thanks so much, Tavita. So just a few other little tips. Oh, sorry, Andrew. Yeah, perfect. Save water. So things like turning off your taps when you don't need them, keeping your shower short, and changing the shower heads actually makes a big difference in saving water. So if you make them more energy efficient shower heads. Swapping all your lights to LEDs, so change to more energy efficient light bulbs to save greenhouse gas emissions from being produced, or more greenhouse gas emissions from being produced. Cycle or walking is probably the safest way at the moment. So get active and save carbon emissions at the same time. You can even do like a step challenge with your friends. Offset your emissions. So you can plant trees to offset your emissions, or if you can't plant trees, there's always an offset emissions button with most items that you either order or when you travel. So do make sure you tick that option. And turn off when not in use. So rather than turning on the heater as your first point of call, layer up. And before you put on the heater, just put more jumpers on or wear blankets. I'm sure everyone in Zoom meetings don't mind seeing blankets or water bottles. And just switch off your monitors and appliances and PowerPoints when not in use. So as I mentioned before, sustainability is holistic, environmentally focused, socially focused, and financially focused as well. So when we look at social sustainability, these things can include championing sustainability. So just some ideas that if you did want to be a champion or an advocate for sustainability, you can join or run online webinars or events from home. So joining, for for example, these webinars, you're being sustainable by learning and constantly gaining knowledge. And also if you can run events, so if you can host your own presentation, maybe about climate change or about health and well-being, that is being sustainable. Influence your communities. So you can, if you're doing an action, promote it on your socials, look at, like, tell them how you're being sustainable, and I'm sure your friends and family will follow. And it's a great way to also just showcase that, you know, we're in this together, and these are great tips to share with other people that may not know. Start online trends, so with your friends, such as September Free Chemicals Facebook group. So one of our student groups that we work closely with, the Environmental Law, the Melbourne University Law Student Society in their environmental division, they actually started a September Free Chemicals Facebook group. So this was a great way to get other students involved with their Facebook group, and basically everyone just posted activities and recipes for how to be chemical free. So you can do that with your own friends. You could start a plastic free Facebook group, or just even a group chat with your friends and have a plastic free challenge or a waste free challenge, or even like a mental health day where you all connect with each other maybe. Educate your communities by sending out communications and campaigns. So things like Meat Free Monday, Fair Trade, for example, or Are You OK Day, just post that on your socials. It's really important to get the message out there. And awareness and knowledge is probably the biggest thing that you can do to champion sustainability. Host presentations that raise awareness about an issue, so such as climate change. So you can maybe run a climate change presentation, or you can run presentations on an issue that's close to your heart. And you can also be a sustainability buddy or mentor another student. So if you're looking to help out more students to be sustainable, hopefully after this presentation, you've learnt some top tips and you can pass that on to your friends or another student in need. So reach out to others. So in social sustainability, it's also about health and well-being. So this can include reaching out to others and checking in with your friends. So spend time with animals as well. That's a great way to increase your happiness and health and well-being. Get active, exercise, walk, do yoga, and be present while doing so. So don't just do yoga for the sake of it, but forget all your worries and try and be present whilst doing something that calms you. Planting trees, herbs, veggie gardens in your backyard is a great way to feel connected to nature, but also just to have a bit of a mental break from screens and technology. Raise awareness about campaigns such as NAIDOC Week or Are You OK Day. Some other campaigns include University Mental Health Day, Respect Week, Midsummer Pride March, Women's Rights White Ribbon Day. All of these issues and topics are really important to just spread the word. Research about the SDGs, so they're the Sustainable Development Goals, and a lot of people don't really know about them, but if you can just do some personal research and just educate yourself about what they are, and the SDGs are also holistic, it's a really great tool to have under your belt, I guess. And buy products that support fair trade companies. So and also like look at Rainforest Alliance. So fair trade is really important because it does mean that the farmers in poorer countries are being paid properly for products that they make, and they're able to support their families, and their mental health also increases by having a proper income. So it's really important. There is a fair trade logo. So if you're buying things like clothing, food, coffee, sugar, they're little things, but buying them fair trade really does make a big difference to those farmers. We also have some online volunteering opportunities for you to explore. And there's a couple of different companies that do look at online volunteering. So Volley, they basically match not-for-profit organizations with volunteering opportunities that you might be interested in, and that's the same with UN volunteering, but they mainly focus on the SDGs, so the Sustainable Development Goals. The emergency support volunteering, they ask you to help people that are feeling self-isolated in quarantine, and you might be able to go to the shops and do something for them or buy something for them. Wires, they make pouches for orphan joeys. Red Cross, you can knit trauma teddies to provide comfort and help people take their minds off their worries. Translators Without Borders, if you're already fluent in another language, you can join this company and translate information from charities and not-for-profits. Be My Eyes, so it's a free app that connects blind and low vision people with sighted volunteers, and they basically help with visual assistance through a live video call. Seeing Eye Dogs, so you can also look after a puppy and help them grow to be a seeing eye dog. So we also want to recognise that there is broader systemic change that you can do, and these really this uses your actions and your voice to make a difference. You can become an advocate, so you can get involved with politics as well, and just champion sustainability where you can. Influence your housemates, influence your family, even just one action that they can do differently really makes a difference. Change your super to be more sustainable. So I don't know if you've looked into your super, but you can change it to be a more sustainable super company. Change your electricity providers and your gas providers. I think we're with PowerShop and they offset their emissions. Divest from fossil fuels, so look at your banks as well. Who do you bank with? And make sure you do divest from fossil fuels. Change to a more sustainable company. Install solar panels on your roofs. I know that's a bit of a bigger project, but that's something you could look at later on down the track as well. So if you click on that QR code or scan that QR code, and I've got the link here that I can post into the chat. After this presentation, we'd love to know your thoughts and how we want to know your feedback and how we can implement that at the university and also educate our wider university community. So please do go on to that link and let us know your thoughts. I just want to make, I've got a final few slides and then we can open it up to questions, but I want to make it known. Sorry, Andrew, if you could go to the next slide, that'd be amazing. Thank you. So everything you do now is transitional from when you're back onto campus. So everything that you're learning now also applies to when you're back onto campus. So some simple things that you can do when you're on campus: switch off lights and monitors and appliances when not in use. You can report any heating, cooling or ventilation issues via SnapSend Solve app. So that's, if you look it up in the App Store or if you search it in Google, it should come up. Layer up before you switch on. Again, that's something you can do at home and also when you're on campus. Report leakages and dripping taps to our team. So do email us if you see any problems, because we'll get on top of that straight away. Eliminate plastic water bottles by accessing free, clean drinking water. Bring your own coffee cup or Swap Cup. I don't know if you've heard about Swap Cup, but they're an amazing, it's an amazing initiative started by a student group called Enactus. So again, another student focused initiative. And they basically we're trying to implement it across all the cafes at the University of Melbourne, but rather than taking your own keep cup, you can ask the cafe for a swap cup and they'll give it to you in a cup. And then once you're done, you can give that to a participating cafe and they'll give you a token instead. So you're basically paying for the service rather than the keep cup itself. And it's great if you don't want to carry around your own dirty keep cup. Check the signs and make sure you bin it right. Cycle, walk or public transport to get to campus. Use the Choose to Reuse plate program, which is at Union House, and basically it's reusable cutlery and crockery that you can use for any vendor on campus, and we do all the cleaning for you. And visit our biodiversity hotspots like the system gardens or the community gardens and our bees. If you wanted to purchase sustainable honey, you can just email us as well. download the Questa Game app. So that's basically if you see any biodiversity or cool biodiversity things, plants and animals on campus, you can report it on the Questa Game app, and it helps us to record what biodiversity we have on campus. And also like our socials and join our newsletter just to keep up with what's going on at the university. So this is just a great photo, a great collage of photos to show that you as students can be part of your own community. And these are some of our student volunteers and student interns in action. So we've got some volunteers helping with the Choose to Reuse program at Union House in the top right-hand corner. Our Green Impact Award ceremony was the bottom left corner, and they were some amazing students that won some awards. We have students in the middle being part of they're waste educators, so this was actually at GSA orientation, and these amazing students were helping people let them know what goes in the right bins. UMSU as well, UMSU and Viro, they have an amazing program, and they also have a lot of workshops, and you can get involved with the political side of stuff as well if you wanted to look up UMSU and Viro. Victoria, who's actually on this call, she's one of our student interns as well, and she's helping to train our student volunteers. So if you did want to intern with us, we have a lot of interning opportunities as well, both online, so whilst you're working from home, and when we're back onto campus. So again, give us an email, and we can send that information through to you. And then also that some of our team members down the bottom left-hand corner, just at an orientation day promoting sustainability.
It was fantastic. Sorry, just it was fantastic to see your team at our orientation there. I remember I had some rubbish and they stopped me. they stopped me and said, "No, that goes in that bin." Thank you. So I was very committed to making sure it was good. It's educational as well. And they braved the weather that day. I remember it was very wet that day. So,
it was pouring.
Fantastic.
Thank you for letting us do that as well and be part of that. It's just, as you said, it's a great educational piece as well, and great awareness for people. So thank you.
No. It's great for students to understand that not everything is recyclable, although it feels like it should be. It doesn't necessarily belong. And that whole contaminated plastic was such an interesting concept for me, because you just used to think, hey, paper, plastic, and then so actually no, that it won't work. So yeah. It was fantastic.
Thank you. We do also have a sustainability student volunteering program, and there are just some testimonials from some of our students that have volunteered with us. So if you did want to volunteer with us, I think I put the link to the mailing list in the chat. So definitely sign up to that. And just some stats, we basically had 150 staff and students participate in tours last year when we ran them with our student volunteers. We conducted 4 surveys and engaged with 219 people over 4 weeks. And these are all our students doing this amazing work. In 2019, we had 200 volunteers participate across 6 initiatives, and we've got a database of 700 students that are actually wanting to get involved. So you also meet like-minded individuals. And Green Impact was the first program to actually offer those formal volunteering opportunities. So again, if you want to get involved with Green Impact, please do email us. So just some quick benefits about why you can volunteer with us. If you do volunteer with us, I don't know if you've heard about LICA, but just Google LICA UniMel, so Leaders in Communities Award UniMel, and basically there's 3 components to it, but it does, when you complete it, it goes on your transcript when you graduate. So when you volunteer for us, that counts towards LICA. You'll also score a reference for your resume, you'll become an advocate for sustainability, and you'll gain skills. You'll learn more about sustainability at the University of Melbourne and meet like-minded people and make a real difference. Some of our examples of our current student volunteering opportunities include this is when we're back onto campus, but guiding tours on campus, so you can take people around the university and tell them about our sustainability and biodiversity hotspots. You can become a waste educator, conduct surveys, promote reusables at the Union House, so Choose to Reuse program. You can get involved with our sustainability plan and let us know what you want to see in the next sustainability plan. You can just help us with general engagement for events, and also maybe distribute posters about key sustainability messages. Some online volunteering opportunities that we actually have for students available that you can start doing now. So you can conduct waste presentations for staff teams. You can host a hackathon. So that could be a hackathon's like you host an event where you get people thinking about an issue. It could be about climate change, or it could be about something that's close to your heart. And you get them to brainstorm basically ideas and solutions to those problems. You can conduct presentations or just videos in general about a specific topic that is meaningful to you. You can create a cooking video on a meat-free recipe, and we can share that on all of our socials. You can become famous within the university community. You can showcase how you're being sustainable at home. We love feel-good stories. We always showcase them. So please do send us what you're doing at home. We love hearing about our amazing students and staff being sustainable. Conduct online surveys or run student focus groups. And you can also make reusable masks to donate to those in need. And if you do volunteer with us, whether it's online or on campus, again, it does count towards your LICA. So again, this is just a little bit about the Leaders in Communities Award. So it does recognise all of your volunteering and university participation and professional development activities, both on and off campus. And it's a great thing to have on your transcript, and it's also great for future employers to know that you have that Leaders in Communities Award. So this is just a little activity I was going to do with you, but I just kind of realized that in webinars you can't do breakout groups, so I apologize. But basically, if you guys want to write down on a piece of paper, maybe your sustainability pledge for the year. So if you want to pledge to do something that's sustainable, and keep in mind, doesn't have to be just environmentally focused, it could be socially focused as well. And share that pledge on your social media. Tag a friend and tag Sustainable Campus, and you'll go into the draw to win a prize. And that prize usually includes a keep cup, a reusable water bottle, a jar of honey, and some reusable straws. So write down your pledge, share it on your socials, tag us, and you'll go into the draw to win a prize. And don't forget to do our sustainability and waste quiz. And if you do them, and you'll get an email confirmation when you do them, when you're back onto campus, show that email confirmation to Stop One, and you'll automatically receive a free reusable UOM branded drinking bottle. So I'll put the link in the chat, but it's a great one to do, because then you'll automatically get a reusable water bottle, and you will get that as soon as we get back onto campus. So thank you so much for having me today. Thank you, Tavita. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for listening. Thank you for attending and being part of the change and being part of sustainability. I was a student just last year, so I always love working with students and presenting. And if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to email me, and I'll post my email as well in the chat.
Fantastic, Raveena. Look, and yeah, I mean, I think we're grateful for you to take the time and sort of reconnect with us again. It's sort of almost full circle a bit, but it's great to see that you're still driving your passion through your work, and you know, trying to engage with the students to ensure that they understand how important this type of work is. So, no, hats off to you, Raveena. It's good to see you going through these steps. I'm sure everyone on the call, just like myself, has got a lot out of this presentation, and I know that we're making the presentation available for people after this call. So Andrew will make sure that everyone gets a copy, just for reference. Some great resources in the chat that Raveena's put through, and obviously some nice comments there from Victoria to talk about the internship program that she's involved with. And please look out for focus groups on reducing waste and plastic use on campus in week 12. So we'll make sure that we keep our eyes peeled on the student portal for that information. Yeah, it's essentially one of the important aspects of living, you know, on this planet that we have. But also, if we're such a large community at the university, every part that we do, as you say, makes a change. So yeah, look, if there are any questions from the group on the call, we've got a few minutes left to facilitate some questions. otherwise, I know that the resources that have come through are great to sort of refer to get more information and get involved. And I think that part of community building has been a big aspect of this conversation. Is like, yes, we can do our part, but if we do it together, I think it will definitely make a bigger difference. And there's even though the reminiscings about those students that put the stop sign in front of me at the rubbish bins to say "Do not put it." I was like, okay, see, that stuck with me. That was in March, and that's still stick with me now. So I think those type of initiatives are fantastic, and to involve our postgraduate students essentially too is really great. So Raveena, thank you. If there's no other questions coming through, I know we've got a lot of thanks coming in from the calls. So yeah, we're very happy. And what we will do, we will circulate the recording of this session through our channels, and so that if you've missed it, or that somebody else would be really interested in this sort of topic, please share and comment if you like. But yeah, we try and work closely with the sustainability team, because we know that essentially the majority of our postgrad students are sustainable conscious, and so we sort of like to maintain this information to be shared. But on behalf of GSA, thanks again, Raveena. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for everyone for coming to school. And don't forget, Tuesdays are dedicated to transition to work sessions from 6 till 7. Wednesdays are supporting academic excellence for our students on 4 till 5. And Thursdays like today, 12:30 to 1:30, we like to engage with and promote healthy communities at the university. And also just a little plug there, the Arts Prize is open for submissions still, so we have another week or 10 days left of submissions. Got some amazing pieces that are coming through at the moment, and we'll have our virtual exhibition starting from the week the 19th of October. So please be on the lookout on our EDMs, our newsletters, and our socials for more information. But look, thanks again, Raveena. Great to see you, and well done on doing your part to make it better for all of us. And yeah, thanks again for your support today, Andrew, and everyone on the call.
Thank you so much, Tavita. Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
Fantastic. All right, take care, everyone. Have a great day.